Welcome back to 864 Auburn Street in Bridgewater, Mass. Here we had a house that we were just beginning rehab last time we took a visit here. So we hadn't had a chance to actually peel back the onion, you know, to actually pull back some of the siding to see what kind of damage we have. After we pull back the siding, these are some of the things that you run into sometimes. It's going to take a little bit more than a little paint, a little stucco, and a little Bondo to put this back together. So we actually have quite a bit of termite / carpenter ant damage here that we're going to have to address. In order to do so, we have hired all the proper contractors with all the proper licensing in order to rip this out, put in all new headers along the way, and do some structural work. These are some of the unknowns that you're going to run into on a lot of these projects, and you do quite often when you buy these properties without inspections or anything along those lines or contingencies. These are what we expect. So that's why you have to really build in that percentage of miscellaneous cost when you run into these projects, because this happens more often than you think, and you never know when it's going to happen, so you always got to be prepared. So this is one spot. We're going to take a second and go see if we can see any other issues that may or may not hopefully be happening with this particular home. All right, so here we are. We've kind of ventured our way to the further along the front of the house. Well, our contractor has a tarp here, so now, well, it appears that we do have a little bit of damage here. This is an area that we did have some evidence that we noticed originally, but now that we peel it back, it isn't quite as bad as we maybe had expected. There is a certain area that we have to rip apart here and replace some framing, but it's really not quite as bad as we expected. So sometimes it's as bad in certain locations and not as bad in others. So we've kind of seen both examples of that at this point. So let's take a look inside and see what else we have to deal with. All right, so here we are in the kitchen. Last time we were in here, we actually had all the cabinetry in as well as the flooring. The flooring was hideous. It looked it looked like it was built in the 60s, put in place stylistically. It did not work for anything that we're trying to do in this home. So what we wanted to do was rip that up, not only from the style perspective, but we also had what appeared to be quite a bit of rot around this entryway door over here. So once we pulled back all of this sheathing from the floor, we realized the damage was really only superficial on the plywood that happened to be sitting on the surface with the subfloor. Once we peeled it back, we realized all of our joists are actually in great shape. Now, from this perspective, it's just a question of buttoning up some of the electrical that's in here, as well as the plumbing, adjusting our drainage, etc. for the kitchen so that it's all in the proper locations, but we have great access to it. So that's actually going to save us time, thereby save us quite a bit of money as well with the plumbers and the electricians. So that's something to certainly take into account. All right, so here we are in the master suite. One major issue that we had in this room was you come into the space, nice big room, but what we had here originally, if you saw the original video or any of the original photography, we had an enormous fireplace with a hearth. Again, styled very much from the 60s, outdated, not functional. There was really no space to put a bedroom in here whatsoever, and the fireplace really wasn't all that effective or functional in any way. So what we did is we completely ripped out this fireplace. We're probably going to demo the chimney as well, because it's not going to be utilized for anything. Now we have a beautiful, large, oversized master suite. We're certainly replacing the windows, and everything is stripped down. We have some structural issues to deal with in the ceiling, which we already knew about, but actually this gives us much better access, and the functionality and flow of the space is actually going to be improved drastically from this point forward, which is thereby going to kick up the property value, hopefully a good amount.